Hello, Facebook friends of Triad Health Family Healing Center over here in San Rafael. We're starting our Facebook Live here just for a few minutes inside the vehicle. This is a Honda Accord, just in case you're wondering what kind of car I'm in. Nothing too fancy. We try to keep it conservative here, Triad Health Family Healing Center. Okay, so we're going to talk about three things, maybe more than three, maybe less than three, but let's go with three right now. Three things that you can do in order to reverse autoimmune disease, and three mistakes that a lot of people are making that are causing them to have autoimmune disease. I might leave the car in a minute just because it's really hot today. Here, I'll get a little more light. So thing number one is the thing that everyone is talking about. By the way, if you're seeing this on Facebook, give us a love. Give us a happy face. Here's a happy face. A love looks like, like a love, like a little heart, right? And, or give us a smiley face if you want. That's a smiley face. That would be great. So the first thing is a lot of people are already talking about the problems with plastic. Which is kind of funny because I have plastic here right in front of me. But don't get... Hey, Suzanne, thanks for tuning in. Don't get distracted by what you're seeing. Do what I... Watch what I... Listen to what I say. Don't do what I do, in other words. I know that's a little counterintuitive, but plastics are getting into our food. They're getting into our environment. What they're finding is that humans here in the United States, most of us, about 99.7 or a little less than that of us, maybe more like 97% of us, are getting exposed to plastic. Hey, Suzanne. Right. Don't let your water get hot and toxic in your body. That's true. Because if the water gets hot in a plastic container, then the plastic can absorb into the water. So they're finding that most people are having about 10,000 or more particulates of plastic that they're consuming or getting into their bodies in one way or another per year. So as you may already know, these plastics are endocrine disruptors, meaning they interfere with the hormonal system. Oh, by the way, if you have questions, ask. That's you, Suzanne. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm talking to you. Oh, there you go. Okay, let's get back to using glass. Glass or metal would be fine, but that's not really what exactly... I know it seems like that's what I'm talking about. If you have a question, though, ask. But I'm actually saying something a little bit different. So, first of all, we want to decrease our exposure to plastics. So, anytime you're storing food in plastic, you want to wash the food before you eat it. In other words, let's say it's chicken stored in plastic. Okay, I'm glad you're laughing. You'd want to wash the chicken before you put it in the pan to cook it. The other thing is that people are not really thinking this through too well. No offense, but this isn't directly related to health in this case. It's just related to sort of thinking and common sense. So a lot of people are wearing clothing that's polyester or has polyester material in it. That's a plastic, right? So if you get warm wearing that kind of clothing, the heat will cause the plastic or polyester to have particulates of it get absorbed through the sweat glands into your skin. The higher the temperature of the plastic material, the more absorptive it becomes. So this is basic science, thermodynamics 101. So nothing real fancy when it comes to science, but not everybody's aware of this simple science. So if you are going to get exposed to plastic, get exposed to cold plastic and get exposed to like a polyurethane or something that's not very, not going to absorb into your system. So there are some kinds of like Gore-Tex and some kinds of materials that you can get at like REI, and they seem to be a little bit more safe than the high-end plastics like polyester, but still, you just want to think this through, and it's better to go with a natural material. So those women going through menopause, having all those hot flashes, wear cotton. Very valid. Exactly. Oh, you said more. Let me see what else you had to say, Suzanne. very valid points here. Okay, there. Next thing is, I know a lot of people are very spiritual, especially here in Northern California, and you like to do a lot of meditation, and I think that that's great. There's a lot of research showing the benefits of meditation. In fact, there's very little research that shows meditation not to be beneficial. So, we should really all be doing our best to meditate. It's getting a little hot here. Luckily, I can just open that window. The only thing that you want to think about is if you're going to use incense to meditate, the incense is scented, and those scents, you are bombarding your nervous system, especially your olfactory nerve and your olfactory thalamic, hypothalamic tract with those scents, and most of the time they're toxic. At least that's what we found in our office. So better not to use a lot of strong scented things like scented candles, scented incense, scented essential oils. Most of them are scented. Strong scented shampoo, conditioner, and deodorant. Better to go with more unscented things. Now, we can keep going here and say, well, okay, Suzanne, that's why I'm doing this Facebook Live, is to address this. So I'm glad you're saying this. So let's go over the essential oils a little bit, since Suzanne's asking about it. When we manufacture most of these essential oils, not all of them, but many of them, not necessarily doTERRA, but many of them are using an alcohol, like a methyl alcohol, and they're using that methyl alcohol as a solvent in order to extract the essential oil from the plant material, whatever plant it's coming from. Let's say it's ginger, to get it out of the ginger. So by doing that, now you're getting poisoned with alcohol. Not only that, but the alcohol mixes with the ginger and forms other byproducts of that chemical reaction. So that's not so good. Not so good. The other thing would be, let's say we're not using alcohol. Let's just say we're using a water. Often they'll heat up the product, no matter how pure. I shouldn't say no matter how. Like the hydrosols, right? These are heated a little bit, and then they extract the essential oil that way with water and the plant matter, whatever it is. Again, we could just use ginger as an example. So now you're heating the ginger, so you're changing the molecular structure of the proteins and the other chemicals in the ginger that allow for that scent. So you don't want to degrade and change around those phytochemicals, those plant materials, because you're going to alter the substance and cause problems. Because remember, you're getting this substance into your body. The other thing is, these substances are really, really powerful. And in my patient population, I've found worse effects, not side effects, but effects from the use of many of these essential oils than I have from the use of many of the prescription medications that our patients are coming in using. All, for some reason, in my patient population only, I'm not describing other healthcare providers, but among my patients, all of them have had, that have had cancer, have used essential oils for a prolonged period of time. Yeah, everyone's using essential oils, so this is a huge subject, exactly. Thank you for your feedback. Oh, it's 8 minutes and 55 seconds. We gotta finish up here. If you have more questions, Suzanne, better get them out. Suzanne's like my Facebook Live today. So we've gone over a little bit about scented candles, incense, essential oils, plastic. Again, like Suzanne was saying, it's better to drink plastic out of a glass container or drink it out of a metal container. It's also, they always cost more money if you're going to get them in glass, right? You know that. It's worth the money. If, for some reason, this is not something that we promote here at Triad Health Family Healing Center, nor do I promote it, but if for some reason you are going to get it out of a plastic container, like one that's delivered to your home, here in Marin County, we have something called Mayacamas Mountain Spring Water. They also have, I believe they have Alhambra is also delivered in a plastic jug. So those plastic jugs are pretty good. They're like food grade plastic, so you can eat off them. So we're not heating up the water in those plastic jugs. You just want to make sure that you have a good plastic that's not lying around. Again, we're not promoting this, but also some of the plastic containers, the real issue is that they're a cheap kind of crappy sort of plastic that could have bisphenol A or other chemicals. And those chemicals, they're called phthalates, some of them, and they can get into the water, right? Or they can get into the thing that comes into contact with the plastic. Even blood is transported and stored in these plastic containers. So if you get a blood transfusion, you're getting plastic that way as well. These aren't things you want to stay up at night thinking about necessarily, like me, but they are things that you really want to consider. Yeah, it definitely pays off in the long run to drink plastic. I'm sorry, it said the wrong thing. Rewind. It pays off in the long run to drink water out of a glass container or out of a metal container. A ceramic container would be great, of course, but how do you close it? You know, they do sell them, but not a lot of them. They're not as popular as the others. Okay. Yeah, I mean, some of the glass is pretty good. Some of the metal is really good. You know, they have these clean canteens. They have all these different types of metal, stainless steel containers that they sell. Make sure to, you know, get one that's pretty good, like a fairly expensive one. Hopefully it'll last. Clean it every day. That's another thing. If you don't clean it pretty much every single day, like really every single day, it can build up bacteria, and then that bacteria is going to cause you to get sick. So don't get confused about this subject, okay? Don't drink water that's been filtered, because it has all kinds of problems with the electron spin. It's basically city tap water. If you got it at the point of use through the tap, you're then running through a filter, and you can't undo that. It's not, it's basically degraded, adulterated, or damaged water. The electron configurations are all off. The water is not good water. So you can't undo that. You can't change it into good water. It can be safe to have a really high quality filtered water for a day or 2 days. I mean, that wouldn't be a problem, but you don't want to regularly consume it because you'll have a problem. I mean, there are definitely things like pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, mildicides, insecticides, food colorings, emulsifiers, stabilizers, and additives that are showing up in the water that is filtered. Even trihalomethanes at very low levels, benzene, trichloroethylene, chlorofluorocarbons, xenoestrogens, phthalates, bisphenol A, plastics, radioactive material, dirt, drugs, heavy metals, things like arsenic, toluene, lead, mercury, okay, all these things are being found, sometimes in much lower doses than in others, in filtered water. And there are all different kinds of filters, and yeah, we're not going to get into that at all. We're just done with the Facebook Live for now. But thanks so much for watching. If you're seeing this on Facebook, share it with somebody that you know, please, that you think would benefit. We're having a regular autoimmune workshop coming up in the near future. So come to that. You can register by going to our website. This is connected to our Facebook page. Like our Facebook page. Follow us on Facebook. Check us out on YouTube, Triad of Health, Family Healing Center on YouTube, Triad of Health on Instagram. Check us out. Check us out. Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks, Suzanne. Peace. See you at the next Facebook Live.